Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to yet another episode of Red Light, Green Light. I, Pointer, am your host, and today I am back with a real one. I'm back with an amazing guest that we tried to get her a match. We tried to get her that real one connection, but she was so real that she was too real for them. So we got her with some new real ones, but we just want to check in with her. How you doing? Name, age, and what's going on?
I am well. My name is Milan. I'm 24 years old, and today I am open to being found by another real one.
I love that. I love that. And that's what it's all about, getting that real one connection in a red light, green light fashion. So I'm about ready to go. What's going to happen now is, why not have our single gentleman come into frame? So single gentleman, why don't you make your fine way over into your lane so we can break down how this love search is going to be. Okay, so Milan sees her wonderful real ones, her potential green lights, and I think we're so excited for that. This is how it works, gentlemen. As you guys see, you have cones that are laid out, and that represents every step you take, because that represents when she gives you a green, that means you get to take one step forward. If she gives you a red light, that means you got to stay where you are. She wasn't really feeling it. And we'll even find out why. I'll ask her why the red or why the green. So let's get right into it. I think we all understand how this wonderful segment works. So Milan wants to know your name, your age, and what you do. Let's start with Rain. Name, age, what you do.
Rain, I'm eternal. I'm a lover. I'm a personal trainer. And I also teach martial arts.
Very good.
I'm a chiller guy. My name is Ethan. I am 21 years old. I'm a lawyer part-time. Right now, I'm trying to catch that Kate. No, I'm just kidding. No. Oh, that's just kidding. What the? You know what? Yeah, I'm Ethan. Nice to meet you.
Interesting.
How you doing? My name is Anthony. I'm an architect, so I'm good with my hands.
Very good. Okay, and do you want to share your age, or do you know?
I'm 28.
Okay, very good. Now, Milan's ready to go. We're going to ask her red light, green light. Let's start with Anthony. Red light, green light.
I'm going to go green light for Anthony. I would say yes for Anthony because he's got a very unique style. He seems very confident in himself. He mentioned he's an architect. I like that. I'm very creative. So someone who has more of a kind of straight edge, like structured profession, that's something I'd be interested in.
Thank you.
All right. Now, what about for Mr. Ethan? Red light, green light.
I'm going to give Ethan a green light as well. I'm interested in hearing more.
All right. He's moving forward. Now, what about Rain? Red light, green light.
Rain. Okay. I'm going to give you a green light because everybody deserves a clean slate.
All right. Yes, and they were on a previous episode together. It was pretty magical, but, we'll focus on that at another time. Let's go for our next question then. Now, Milan and I, we kind of curated these questions to see what would be best for this situation. So she wants to know, what makes you a real one? We can start with Anthony. What makes you a real one?
What makes me a real one is I'm just open and honest. I'm maybe a little blunt sometimes, but at least I'm being open and honest with you. If you ask me, hey, do I look good in this? You may be mad at me, but I will tell you if I don't think you look good in it, but I will tell you if you look fantastic in it as well.
Very good. Milan wants to know what makes you a real one.
What makes me a real one is I'm true to that person. If we argue, arguing is a good thing, because if we don't argue, we're not being honest with each other.
Good answer, homie. I'm as real, I'll tell you how it is. You look like you're like a disciplinarian. You know what I mean? But I'm real. Even if it hurts you, I think you got right head on your shoulders that you could understand and take it with a grain of salt. So yeah, I'm real. I'm just always real.
Very good. All right. You've got some decisions to make, Milan. We can start with Rain. Red light, green light.
For Rain, I'm going to say red light.
Tell us why.
Well, you mentioned that I come across as a bit of a disciplinarian, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're on a leash with me.
Okay. All right.
Interesting. Let's go to Ethan. Red light, green light.
For Ethan, I'm also going to give it a red light for now. The reason being, you mentioned that it's healthy to have arguments. I think it's good to be able to have conflict or disagree, but arguing, that's a little bit different. I don't want to get into semantics, but I do think that you're able to have those disagreements without necessarily having like hostility arise.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
And what about Anthony? Red light, green light.
Anthony. I am going to start with the red light as well. The reason why, I appreciate your honesty, but I had a little bit of reservation because as much as I value honesty and openness, I also want someone who can be caring and delicate with my feelings.
Okay.
Interesting. Wow, she's breaking it down. That's why we had her come back, because this is a real one on red light, green light. So let's go for the next question, Anthony. You know what? Let's have Ethan kick it off this time. So here's the question that Milan has for you. What are you looking for in a real one?
I'm looking for one in a real one. I'm looking for someone that's going to be caring, that's going to be truthful, respectful both ways. Honestly, a future with that person, and hopefully to move on with that person, you know?
Very good.
Someone that's got my back. I mean, I got her back, she got my back, and it's that bond, and it's that Bonnie and Clyde, you know, almost. It's like, it's rare, but like I'm looking for the one, like my Bonnie. You know what I'm saying?
Very
Where's
good.
it, Clyde. I'm looking for my my ride or die.
Very good.
So what I'm looking for is I'm just looking for a woman that knows how to be a woman, who is strong in her femininity, who allows me to be a strong man, and she wants to enjoy life together.
Very good. All right. We're going to kick off the red light, green light with Anthony again. Red light, green light.
Okay, I'm going to go with a green light for Anthony.
Ooh, okay. Tell us why.
The reason why, he does seem like he's looking for something intentional, which aligns with my interests, so I'm still interested in hearing more.
Good. Now, what about Ethan? Red light, green light.
I will also give Ethan a green light. I'm still open, and I did get intention from Ethan. Everyone here seems like they're looking for a relationship, so, all right.
What about Rain? Green light, red light.
I'm going to give Rain a green light.
Yeah, anytime. Yes, very good. Okay. And tell us why.
Well, he mentioned he's looking for a relationship, his other half. Although I do believe in two wholes coming together, I am still open to see who leads in the running.
And he even took his sunglasses off for you. So I think he's starting to get a little more serious as he gets closer to that real one connection. So let's go for our next question. We're going to have Rain kick it off this time. What do you like to do for fun? Give us maybe 1 to 2 things.
Simple. I like to work out. It's fun to me, like exerting myself and pushing my limit. But I also like to just chill with my boo-boo. I'm looking for someone to chill with and just do stuff, you know, but like I just want someone to chill with at home. Like I'm simple. Food, you know. I'm easy to please.
Very good.
What I like to do for fun is I like to be with that special person, go on swan boats, take a good view of the, like whatever we're on, and have a good dinner, and just be with that person. I think what I like to do for fun.
Very good. Let's swing it.
So what I like to do for fun is I like going to the beach. I also like to, exercise as well, physically, but also mentally. I also enjoy reading and, expanding my mind as well as my physicality.
Very good. Let's have you kick it off with Anthony. Red light, green light.
Okay, for Anthony, I'm going to say green light. I do like to read as well. I'm a little outdoorsy, but very much so a city girl. So I'm interested to see if there will be that contrast in our interests. I like a lot of spontaneous things. I'm not just staying in the house. So I am interested in seeing more of what you're into.
What about Ethan? Red light, green light.
I'm going to give a green light for Ethan.
Tell us why.
I really liked what he said. The activities you were talking about, it sounded intentional and creative. And I like stuff like that, not something that's basic. And I love to go out to eat, so.
What about Rain? Red light, green light.
For Rain, I'm going to have to say red light. It sounds like you're a chill guy looking for a chill girl. I don't know if that's me.
All right, that's how it goes in the world of reds and greens. So let's do this a little spicier. We're going to have Ethan start. Everybody has red flags. Some people don't admit it. Let's see if we do here. Give us 1 to 2 of your red flags that you may be working on.
My biggest red flag is I don't have as much, but one that I specifically want to work on is probably my communication. It's somewhat there, but I'm working on it slowly. Like, I want to be with that person. Not like saying that I don't want to be with that person, but it's like communication with, like, I'd rather be with that person. It's just like really complex, but just communication. That's all I can say.
Okay.
So my red flag, I would say, probably has to do with me being a workaholic, because I enjoy what I do and I do my best all the time. I try to make sure my clients have everything that they want with whatever project they hand to me. So sometimes, I get out of hand with it. I'm like, no, I want to make sure this is perfect, a perfectionist and all that, so I'm really trying to work on that.
Very good.
All good answers, Joe. But yeah, all of the above. I'm just kidding. See, I've been working on myself for a long time. So, like, my hygiene's on point. So, I don't. If I have a red flag, it would be that women think that I have wandering eyes. I guess I enjoy beauty. There's nothing wrong with that. And if a woman can enjoy beauty with me, it says a lot about her. Says a lot about her character, that she's understanding. Like, okay, but it's not acting on it. But I look a lot. I like women.
Let's see what decision you're going to make. It's flashing right now, Milan, but we'll start with Rain. Do you want to give red light, green light?
For Rain, I'm going to have to say red light again.
I'm too
The
real.
reason why is that, honestly, like, a lustful, wandering eye is actually one of my deal breakers. So whether it's in person, whether it's like following naked women in those 3 square boxes on, social media, that is one of my deal breakers.
Understood. Now let's swing it to Ethan. Red light, green light.
I do have a follow-up question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Could you get a little more specific on the part of communication that you struggle with?
Honestly, work gets in the way. My family, and like, honestly, like, I tend not to be like on the phone too much, but when I'm with that person, communication builds like a good bond. So communication for me is like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just got to build up. Like, I'm not usually on the phone a lot or like texting that person, but when it comes to like living with them or being with them, it's like my communication gets really strong with them.
Based on that response, red light, green light.
I'm going to have to say red light.
Tell us more.
The reason for that, it sounds to me like quality time is really important to you, but to me, consistency is important. So if we're not around each other or our schedules aren't necessarily aligned, I still want someone who's going to be consistent with me and keep that like rapport going.
Thank you.
All right, let's swing it to Anthony. Is that a red light or a green light?
One more question for Anthony.
Shoot.
How would you describe like your time management and like prioritizing the things that are important to you?
So typically what happens throughout my day, I find out early what's going on, unless it's a forest fire or something like that happens. I typically know. If I have a special person in my life, I typically would, tell them what's going on, and then, with work or whatever the case may be, and then we would go from there. Whether it's like, no, honey, you said we were gonna go hang out, then I'd be like, well, guys, I'm sorry, I guess I'll get it to you tomorrow. Or, it's like, okay, babe, thanks for being understanding, and I'll knock it out as soon as possible, and when I get home, I'm all yours.
Okay, I'm gonna say green light.
All right. Take a step forward. All right, very good. So it looks like, wow, we've got a little echelon of movement there. So let's go for another important one. Pet peeves. What's something that a partner might do in a relationship that it's not really a red flag? You wouldn't cancel them over, but it still is like, that irks me, and I wouldn't want to get into a relationship knowing this person does that. Anthony, kick us off.
Something that's a pet peeve, like we were just discussing, my work schedule. So, if a person is not understanding that I am working, but I'm working to try to make sure I better myself as well as make things easier on them, that's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. If it's like, hey, I just always want quality time and forget work. And it's like, I work kind of hard to get here.
My pet peeve in someone is personal hygiene. If they have like no good personal hygiene, honestly, it's like a red flag for me. It's like, no, I'm interested in someone that's gonna look good and smell good. So yeah.
So yeah, pet peeve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hygiene. That's a red flag pet peeve. But silence sometimes is what men need. We don't always need to answer right away. I mean, we need time to cool off and some space. So I feel like when a girl wants to argue and just pin you in a corner, I'm like, no, like, I need to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it some time. And then as you get older, you realize that it's like you don't want to say anything while your emotions are going crazy. You got to think about it first. And yeah, so a woman that doesn't know how to, I'm not saying like they have to be silent when I need them to, but like I need space sometimes to breathe, and then we could talk later, make up sex or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. All right. Well, let's kick it off. Rain, finish it off. Red light, green light.
Okay. I will give Rain a green light. The reason why, I did like his emotional awareness. So we'll start with that.
How about Ethan? Red light, green light.
I'll say green light. The reason why, I think that's a pretty basic requirement. I'd like to build from there. Okay.
And Mr. Anthony, red light, green light.
I'm gonna say green light. The reason why, he didn't say anything that was unreasonable. I think as long as you're communicating what you have going on, then we're pretty good. We're gravy.
First date. Where would you take Milan on a first date?
I ain't taking her to no McDonald's for sure, but I am taking you to some place called sorry, I think that's how you say it. It's a steakhouse. I don't know if you like steak. I have to get to know you before what you like, but any romantic dinner, any skylines, honestly, that will be my first romantic date. Is a nice dinner and a nice romantic view.
All right.
I'd go to a shelter and take out a dog for the day, walk them, go on a hike, maybe go to Santa Monica, Venice, and just walk with the dog, and give us some free time, right? So eat and see the sunset on the beach with an adoptive puppy. You know what I'm saying? I love animals.
Okay.
So, Rain, the first, you said Ruth Chris, correct? I would have to say, I would take you on a picnic, because we don't know each other very well. So somewhere where we go outside and we just hang out, and maybe we, just make sandwiches together and we get to learn each other a little better. That's probably how I would go about it.
All right. Decision making time. Red light, green light. Let's start with Anthony. Red light, green light.
Okay, so for Anthony, I am going to say red light.
Tell us why.
The reason why, that sounds nice. That's not quite my idea for a first date. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
We might get into that. Yeah. All right. So let's go to Ethan. Red light, green light.
I'm going to say green light for Ethan.
Tell us why.
I kind of feel like go big or go home. I think if you're asking someone on a date, you got to lead with intention. Like, I really like the effort, and I think that, it's important to like set the foot forward. My grandmother always said, how you start is how you end. So I really like the note that you set.
And let's go for Rain. Red light, green light.
For Rain, I'm going to say red light. The reason why, I love animals too. I volunteer at the shelter. I wouldn't pick that as a first date though. And then adopting a dog together on the first date, that's a little premature. Just a little.
All right. His heart's a little broken, but that's okay. Hey, it's not over yet, because here's another question that could get spicy for some of us. We're going to have Anthony kick it off. Anthony, when was your last relationship and why did it end?
You sure I got to start?
Yeah. After that response.
So my last relationship was about a year ago. It ended because, I was just focused on work and they were not understanding about that. Like we were talking about a little before, I would communicate with them and, they just wanted quality time all the time. And I understand having quality time, but, at the same time, bills still got to get paid.
Interesting.
My last relationship ended almost a year and a half ago. It was their fault. I actually caught them cheating on me. Yeah, which really sucks. Like, I mean, we all go through it once, but it kind of sucks, so you have to go through it. But yeah, that was my last relationship. I felt like it was not my fault, but like when someone does it to you, you just have so much like pain in yourself, like when you find stuff like that. But yeah, it was a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's swing it to Rain.
Last relationship was right before COVID, so 4 or 5 years ago. She had too many vices, smoking, drugs, and high body count, which I should have known from the beginning, but I gave her a chance. But like I realized, someone with too many vices, or they have a low attention span, kinda, so they have to like keep getting that dopamine rush, and like they're never happy. So drugs, alcohol, like it was too much. And during COVID for 4.5 years, just working on myself and just finding myself, self-mastery. And I'm ready to, that's why I'm here. I'm looking for something serious again.
Got it. All right. Red light, green light for Rain.
Rain, I would love to give you a green, but I'm going to have to go red.
I'm already way behind, boo-boo.
Tell us why.
I'm funny too, see?
You are funny, but something about that sounds a little chaotic.
Ooh.
I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. Maybe your taste or what you're attracted to, like it just sounds a little chaotic.
Let's swing it to Ethan. Red light, green light.
I'm going to go green. However, I'm a little skeptical, side eye, because the things we choose can also be a reflection of us. I don't think what happened to you is your fault at all. But similar to the chaos that I mentioned over there, I'm just keeping my eye out. Like attracts like sometimes.
So turn it to green, though, and just wave it just so he knows he got a green. Okay. Very good. You did get a green. Very good. Now let's swing it. Anthony, red light, green light.
Question for Anthony. In that situation, is there anything you think you could have done better?
The only thing I would say I would do a little differently, I would have maybe had a little more understanding. I got really defensive, I will say, about the whole situation, because I was the one paying for everything and they didn't really, want to hear my side. But I also wasn't hearing their side either. So I would say that's probably what I would work on.
And you feel like you've grown since then?
Yes.
Okay. Green light.
Tell us why he's getting the green.
It sounds like he understands where his previous partner was coming from. I'm still keeping one eye open because it is very important for me, someone who's going to be considerate of the other person's feelings. And when you mentioned defensiveness, I'm just keeping one eye open.
How do you solve conflicts in a relationship? I want to start with Ethan. Ethan, how do you solve conflicts in a relationship? You mentioned arguing earlier, but what's the best way to solve them?
The good way to solve them is having a conversation with that person in person. Honestly, over text, over the phone, it's not really a good time because you can sometimes build up that courage to argue on the phone or on the text. But when it comes to in person, you guys kind of like settle each other down, talk it out, and like that's the best part is being with that person face to face, having a good like conversation and not making it worse.
Got it.
So how do I handle conflicts? Kind of like you were just saying, I like to have a conversation, but what I learned from my past relationship, showing you I've grown a little bit, is that sometimes people need a little space for them to think and calm down and, be able to come to the conversation with a clear head and be able to have that conversation with whatever it is, so we can actually come to a solution.
Very good.
All right. So, space is, but depending if you give me the space, if you corner me, and then we're going to have to, hey, have sex, and then talk about it after. I'm like, hey, look, we're angry. It's just released together. And then we're clear-headed. I mean, in a relationship, that makes sense. I'm looking for that. A monogamous relationship, too. Sex is important. Can you agree? Or she's probably like, before marriage, no. But I feel, make love and then talk about it after. I mean, not everything's always an argument, right?
Okay. Break up to make up. Now, Milan, you got some decisions to make. We can start with Rain, red light, green light.
Oh, Rain, I'm going to have to say red light. I'm not against it, but you seem very lust focused, Like if I have something on my mind or we're unclear, I feel like we should be able to talk about it first. It doesn't seem like that's much of a priority to you.
So he's going to stay there. Let's swing it to Ethan, red light, green light.
I'm going to say red light.
Tell us why.
I'm getting a flashback a little bit. I'm hearing you say it's really important to be in person to communicate. And I think that's true. But I had a previous experience with someone where they kind of used deflection and lack of accountability to, blame it on, we're not talking in person. It's because we're over the phone. No, excuse me for my language. You did some, you knew what you did, whether it was over the phone or in person. So I feel like there's a huge focus on having to be in front of you. And to me, it's just reminding me of a previous experience of deflection.
Okay. What about for Anthony, red light, green light?
For Anthony, I'm gonna say green light. I really like the introspection in his answer, and he just it seemed like he put a lot of thought into it.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, we got a few more questions then, because we're going to try to make something happen here. Religion or politics? We're going to start with Ethan. Well, you know what, Rain, since you're all the way back there, we'll start with you. Religion or politics? Are you a religious person, a political person, and do you want your partner to be religious or political?
I'm very understanding. I'm not very religious at all. I'm spiritual. I believe the golden rule is the simple, I don't want to hurt you because I don't want to be hurt myself. It's basic. But as far as political, I think it's pinning everyone against each other. I don't get involved with it. Okay. Because it's, you can't have everything you want, in the president, whatever. But it's there has to be compromise. But there's no two extremes. That's what I feel. That's what politics is doing. It's pinning us against each other. It's that's not the point. I just like peace. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Let's go to Ethan.
Honestly, I'm really not religious. I am Catholic. They don't have to be religious either. I can say I go to church every day, but I'm not a better person. But honestly, them being spiritual, them not believing in God, as long as we're together, at the end of the day, unfortunately, we all have to pass away and die, and it's our choice. I would respect them if they do not believe in God. If they do, like myself, I am Catholic, and it's honestly one-on-one choice. It's their choice, it's not our choice.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh wow, that's a good one. Religion. I would say for me, I feel like I'm more spiritual. I feel like religion has, kind of had people step away from, God, universe, whatever I don't know your specific understanding or feeling about religion. So I do believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I believe that relationship is a lot more personal than you going to church every day, like you were saying. In terms of politics, I feel like a lot of politicians, honestly, I feel like it's, people just trying to get money and get more power. I'm like, there's nobody who's honestly here to try to better the world or the environment or whatever the case may be.
Got it. All right. You've got some decision making to do. Let's start with Anthony. Red light, green light.
I would have to ask, how would you describe your individual relationship with God?
My individual relationship with God has gotten a lot stronger. I stepped away because I was so interested in politics. Believe it or not, I was focused on making sure that I'm voting for the right president or whatever the case. Thought, that was going to make the biggest difference in my life. And that's not the case. God has been the one to make the biggest difference for me.
After that, red light, green light.
I'm gonna say red light still. The reason why is that I am particularly looking for someone who's more God-fearing and who's more grounded and intentional in their relationship with God. I like that you're like on your way back, but it just kind of sounds like when you mention like God, the universe, like I'm not really sold. And it's important to be equally yoked with your partner.
Let's swing it to Ethan. Red light, green light.
Same thing. Red light. The reason why, I appreciated you stating your beliefs and keeping an open mind, but the fact that you said like it's okay to be with someone who may not share the same belief system of you, that's fine. But again, for me, I believe in being equally yoked with someone, and I feel like that's a belief we would need to share.
What about for Rain? Red light, green light.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, how is your intentional, like your individual relationship with God?
Well, God is within. I grew up going to church. Used to be Sunday, but sabbatical. Sabbath is actually Saturday. So I started going, and I listened to what my parents, whatever they wanted to, but they kept switching different religions and saying this is the right one. But then I feel like, even God says it. God, it's within you, and I'm conscientious, and I think about the world and how we're all connected. So I pray every day, and I look introspectively and what I could do to pay it forward or do my good deed without even posting it or whatever, or bragging about it like I do. I feel like I have good integrity, and like what I do with intention is for love, which is God. Yeah.
Red light, green light.
Okay.
All right, boo boo. Come on.
I'm gonna go with a green light.
Thank you.
This time.
What's up?
The reason why is because I do think the individual relationship with God is important. I'm not entirely sold, but there were some parts of your answer that I do think are important when it comes to the fruits of the spirit of the person. So,
Thank you.
All right. Well, we've got some pretty interesting questions upcoming. So let's go for this one. What is your love language? What is your love language? Rain, hook me up. What's your love language?
Touch. I mean, so you always think that I have that lustful thing, but like touch, it's simple. I don't need gifts. I mean, actually, they're nice sometimes, but like honestly, on a regular basis, it's touch and just someone to listen to. I know that's not love language, but just touch. It's simple.
My love language is actually eye contact. I love having eye contact with that person when we're having a conversation. it feels weird not having that eye contact with that person because you're showing that you're not having that connection with them or that love relationship with them. So I think eye contact is the best thing.
I would have to say I have two, and they're pretty close. Words of affirmation as well as physical contact. I enjoy hearing my person, hearing their voice, and their different tonalities. There's a lot I can read in that. But also when I'm with that person, I'm able to touch them and feel, their skin to skin situation contact. I'm able to read a lot off of the energy that they're giving me.
All right, Milan, let's start with Anthony. Red light, green light.
Okay, green light.
Tell us why.
Everybody's entitled to their love language, and I think yours is the closest to mine. Words of affirmation is one of mine.
Let's swing it to Ethan. Red light, green light.
I'm gonna say red light. The reason why, it was just a little generic. I was kind of hoping to hear more. I think eye contact is pretty basic. Most people like that.
And what about Rain? Red light, green light.
Green light. Everybody's entitled to their love language. So,
What do you find to be the most attractive physical feature of a person? The most attractive physical feature. Anthony, kick it off.
I would have to say it's a tie between the smile and the eyes. Those two things are probably the best thing to get from your person. You can see so much in the eyes, and then the smile just says a lot.
Awesome.
I want to say it's the personality, getting to know that person. Usually, yeah, that's the one key for me is the personality. Looks, I'm there for it, but at the same time, like, you know what? It's all about the way they act, and it's the personality.
So physical traits, right? My weakness is a big booty. Like, I'm being real. You asked the question. I
asked the question. You have the right to answer.
Like, face is cool too, but like, damn, fat ass, like, just my thing. It's my weakness.
All right. Let's start with Rain. Red light, green light.
I'm gonna go with green light. No, did you guys really think that?
Nowadays, you never know.
I'm gonna go with a red light. He was honest. I respect it. He was honest, but I gotta look out for me. So,
Why is that a red light?
because it's just very like, I mean, he's entitled to what he likes, but you can find a lot of those. You can find the manufactured kind, the real kind, like they're everywhere. So it's kind of like anything else.
But you asked the physical, like, that's my thing.
Again, that's you can. Am I right? Like you can find it everywhere.
We'll just go to our next real one. A red light, red light, green light for Ethan.
I'm gonna say red light as well. I appreciated your answer, but it was a little cookie cutter. It was kind of like a politician answer.
All right. And Anthony, red light, green light.
I am gonna hand it to John Legend and say green light.
Give me just one night. Are you ready to go right now? She might be ready to go. So Anthony, step next to me.
Congrats,
and we're just going to do something like this. Clap it up for them, because that is a real one connection. That is a real one connection. So this is what's about to happen. You are about to get 2 minutes unsolicited, no one bothering you two, just you and you talking. And then I'm going to come back up and see if you two actually get the green light and if you're going to move forward. So that's about to happen right now. So let's get these two real ones yapping it up. Let's go for it.
Hey, so I guess I won, but we have 2 minutes uninterrupted, so I'll let you start if you have any questions for me that you didn't get to ask.
Okay. Let's talk about what's your favorite music artist?
My favorite music artist, honestly, I'm in the old school, so early 2000s R&B. So I like Tyrese. I listen to Nelly. I listen to newer music. I like some country. I'm all around the world when it comes to, music. How about yourself?
Okay, that's interesting. I kind of like old school too, but like before the 90s. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. In terms of, I like to travel. So where's somewhere you really want to travel to?
Well, I have a trip planned to Costa Rica soon. I haven't really been anywhere yet, so I'm just starting to travel. I'd love to go to Paris.
Okay.
How about you?
I actually, most recently, I went to Portugal, and before that, I was in Italy. I did all this by myself, because I'm sure that did cross your mind, I'm sure. But it was really fun. I feel like you really get to see a different culture, and you really get to see how people react, and we're not just looking on the internet or watching TV to tell us how it is in other places.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. One of the most important things I should start with. So what would you be interested in, or would you say you're looking for this connection?
So for our connection, I would like to get to know you better. I feel, to be honest, the best thing we can do so far is...
That's all. That's all.
There's no way that was 2 minutes.
That was two.
Okay.
2 minutes is up. 2 minutes is up, and that might have been enough time. In date time, 2 minutes can take forever, or if it's a vibe, then it can seem like a second. So we have to make a decision. Now, this is the lovely lady who's been making decisions all day. So you have to make a decision here. Based on this conversation and the previous interaction, is this connection going to be a red light or a green light?
I really liked the things I heard from you. I like that you're really soft-spoken. I think I'm gonna go with red light.
Tell us why you chose a red light.
I didn't really feel that chemistry between us. I thought you were really awesome, a great guy. I just think sometimes nice people don't always go with other nice people.
Okay. And you have to respect that decision, Anthony. You good?
I guess so. I mean, she gave me a red light. I mean, that's not fair, but I mean, it's her life.
It's all right. And sometimes in the real one search, that's what happens. But we still want you to know that you're a real one. Okay, and we might have you back where you're over there and you get to make a decision about red light, green light. So we thank you, folks. We thank you for watching. Still, both of you are real ones, and we thank you for coming out. We want you, if you're interested in being on red light, green light, why don't you email us, DM us, get our attention, but most importantly, continue to subscribe, like, comment, share. We'll catch you on the next episode of Red Light, Green Light. Thank you, folks. Thank you, too, for coming out. You look so lovely. Maybe next time we'll connect in a different way. We'll see you next time, folks.
I know what you're thinking, friends. I want to watch more of his videos. Well, that's a beautiful thing. We've got this video here, which is one of my favorites. I promise you, you won't regret watching it. We also have this playlist if you just want to dive deep into what we do, or this video here, which is groundbreaking, or you can click this if you plan to subscribe, which I hope you do. So thank you for watching, folks. We've got a lot of content just for you. Hope you enjoy.